snowball effect that led to Hunterace never being able to get a foothold.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move into the Rogue mirror matchup, but it's not a mirror matchup in archetypes, only in class. This is Quest Rogue for Hunterace versus Odd Rogue for Sinto. And this is a tough matchup. This is Odd Rogue favored, but Quest Rogue can beat just about anything if it gets what it needs. And Hunterace, he made his climb this season with Quest Rogue.
Oh, that hand is not what he needs.
None will survive.
What are you talking about? Once he plays Valyria, he can have 2 preps.
Sick.
Prep. Concede.
Yikes. So, you know, being able to have preparation with Elven Minstrel is at least something, but Sintolol is on coin, and he has teched in 2 copies of Vicious Fledgling. You know, this is a card that you see so often in tournaments, and I feel like I see so rarely on ladder.
Yeah.
And one of the big reasons is the targeting effect. When your opponents are playing the types of lineups you anticipate, Vicious Fledgling goes way up in value against that. On ladder, pretty much everybody plays a lot of removal just because you often need to kill something, you know, at the 3 health slot. Hunterace is targeting a completely different style of archetype, and this Vicious Fledgling is going to be massively punishing if it goes unchecked for just a short amount of time.
Yeah, Hunterace has a single backstab in the deck.
Well,
but if he...
Prep's looking okay now, at least. We're a long way off of that mattering, though.
Yeah, Prep Vanish just, I guess, is really good against Rogue because...
Look at the smile on Sintolol's face. Did you see that?
Whenever your opponent just doesn't kill a Vicious Fledgling, I'm pretty sure there's not a single player out there who's not going to smile when they hit base and get that adapt. Basically, the cards you're looking for in this matchup are the cards that are just going to help you survive until you can complete the quest.
Yeah, and when they don't kill the first one.
Yeah.
Well, okay. But, you know, there's still one there.
Yeah, but if he gives up this South Sea Deckhand, he's reliant on the top of his deck to have activation for this Elven Minstrel.
I am looking exactly at Deckhand, Prep, Vanish, and then try to use Deckhand to complete the quest by comboing it with Elven Minstrel next turn, and hoping that buys me enough time. Now, I want to follow that up with the caveat, I am not a Quest Rogue expert. I almost never play the deck, but I recognize a lot of trends about this deck by watching experts. And the things that they do are just take massive risks with their hand and the way the deck works out. The one tool that they don't seem to like to use very liberally is Vanish. But here, I think it's a necessity for Hunterace to not lose the game.
Well, there's you know, 2 different matchups that you're going to play against. There's control matchups and there's the aggro matchups. And the aggro matchups, you really need to use Vanish early because you need to protect your life total and give yourself more options later. Against control decks, you want to be as greedy as possible with Vanish because they're not going to pressure you, and you want to be able to use Vanish to push for lethal later in the game. So this is an aggro matchup, so of course he's going to use it early because what are you going to do?
Die?
Take potentially 14 damage if those 2 get Wind Fury, not even accounting for if they get plus attack or +1/+1.
I'm buying.
There once was a man from
So I think not even that's a good play. That's a necessary play for him to just not die.
Okay, so he's now off the South Sea Deckhand plan for a little bit, and I think a big part of that is, you know, finding Giggling Inventor and being at a reasonable life total on your 5-mana turn. That's a really big step for Hunterace because having Giggling Inventor to back this up, having a little bit of card draw, and Valyria in hand means that he has a game plan. The game plan is get to Valyria right now. It's not to complete quest, it's get to Valyria.
Yeah. Valyria opens up so many options because you have a turn where Odd Rogue can't do anything but develop.
Wow. That is a huge draw. Now we've got a lot of defense.
I'm completing the quest with Gigglers.
That's not unreasonable with this hand. And Sintolol, he has a Blood Knight ready to go to punish the first one.
What about the second 3 or 4?
That's really where things start to get, you know, a little bit weird. I remember it was day 1, I turned on Killing All Day stream, and I was like, I bet he's playing Quest Rogue. Day 1 of the new expansion. His opening hand was Quest and 2 Giggling Inventors, and I went, now that's not too shabby looking. It's really good. You can see every time Sinto has like a good thing to do, he just gets like this almost like playfully smug smile on his face. He's like, I got a Blood Knight.
Hunterace using the stone test border to try and take off attacks on the board to try and protect the life total as much as possible.
It's wise. Sinto's face is great.
Glory to the Sindora.
It's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, he could push 5 and develop a massive board. I mean, I don't know if Hunterace is going to be able to... Nope, just kidding. He has more.
He wants to kill the Giggling Inventor so it can't be recharged.
Yeah.
And this threatens lethal here. Oh my goodness. I was ready to basically watch Hunterace die, and now he's going to live for a lot longer.
This is tough, though. Giggling Inventor is coming down this turn, but the question is, what do you do besides that? Because Sintolol does have another Blood Knight, so if Hunterace doesn't make a defensive play outside of that, say Glacial Shard on the Blood Knight, there's maybe potential that he could die. And then there's the option of, well, is Giggling Inventor the card that I want to complete the quest with, or do I just want an extra one in my hand? Do I Shadow Sip it now? So if he does have another Blood Knight, he can't get through and kill my Giggling Inventor, so I can't Shadow Step it back.
The other thing, too, is like SI7 agent can kill the Giggling Inventor. Like, that Giggling Inventor is basically going to be one of the ways that Hunterace wins the game, if he wins the game.
Yeah.
You know, it could be Wax Elemental buying time later down the road, but you really want to play Giggling Inventor after you complete quest. It's going to protect it now, which I think is very wise. I think without that Giggling Inventor, Hunterace has a much lower chance to win.
Yeah. He doesn't have any extra damage like SI7 agent or South Sea Deckhand, so he can't get through the Glacial Shard. I'm not sure how much that matters. And Sintolol, wisely, after seeing the Shadow Step Giggler, wants to make sure that he has as many attacks on the board to try and get the Divine Shields and Annoyotrons. You know, your eyes go to Funkelmancer to try and beef up the board as much as possible, but that option is always going to be there for you.
You use that as a punish, not as...
Yes.
Oh my. Is that enough to live? I mean...
Oh, for sure. With the Giggler?
He's in the same spot, though. He doesn't necessarily want to risk the Giggling Inventor. I'm curious, can he live without using the Giggling Inventor? Because if he plays the Valera next turn, he can't die while the Valera's down. No way! Huge draw for Hunterace! That is insane!
So now the question is, Valera is slated for next turn. Do you use the Vanish to make a power play after Valera, which I think you do?
No, you do it now, you don't die, and then you win the game with Valera the Hollowed and 2 Giggling Inventors afterwards. That is a snap Vanish. That is the best draw in his deck. That was insane.
Now he's got 2 turns to draw a Bouncer. My reasoning behind it was, when you play Valera, the only thing your opponent can do is develop.
Yeah.
So then you Vanish behind that.
So many options.
And it's really expensive for Odd Rogue to develop again. And so then you have multiple turns of Valera to get things going. That was my reason. That was my reason behind holding on to the Vanish, because Fanonize plus Giggling Inventor, you live there.
Sometimes.
Because your opponent only has 4 attacks on board. Actually, no, your opponent has 3 attacks on board because you kill off one of the Annoyotrons after the Fanonize. They have Blood Knight, 1 Annoyotron.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't thinking about that.
So you even live through a second Blood Knight. And so you open up this opportunity to be really greedy with Vanish. Okay.
Wow.
How about some more Gigglers?
Yeah, well, they're going to have to wait.
You cannot escape the shadow of death.
Hunterace is, you know, typically not supposed to be at this high life total at this stage of the game.
What, 24? On turn 9? Yeah.
As Quest Rogue versus Odd Rogue, it's, you know, it's quite rare that situation comes up.
Well, both Vanishes are gone.
Yeah, I mean, Sintolol does have, you know, a bit of free reign where that's concerned.
And Hunterace, I mean, sure, he can complete the quest, but that's not the end game. You eventually have to kill your opponent. And Sintolol has opportunities to make massive boards.
Yeah, I mean, our progress on the quest right now for Hunterace is, you know, 2 South Sea Deckhand and then 2 at Giggling Inventor.
So this is kind of why I wanted to hold on to the Vanish. Because post Valera is, I don't know, it's
Wait a minute.
really tough decision.
Is that Fungalmancer a mistake?
Why? Because he can't Blood Knight?
Yeah, he can't play Blood Knight next turn. He can't play any minis next turn. He has to use attacks to bust through the Annoyatrons. And he knows there's going to be 4 Annoyatrons on board. It's impossible for him to deal damage next turn unless, like, what could he draw?
Well, maybe he's thinking that he's always going to have an opportunity to play Blood Knight because his opponent has Valera plus a discounted Giggling Inventor and 5 cards in his hand that he can't account for that are probably bouncers. So maybe he's thinking that he's always going to have an opportunity to play Blood Knight, and next turn he just wants to get through these Gigglers.
Death's shadow.
I don't know. It's tough because you have to find a balance. He has to try and apply some pressure.
Yeah, I'm just curious about, like, the Fungalmancer, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You just keep it up. Can you keep it up? Or I guess keeping it up board slot doesn't really matter either unless you specifically want Blood Knight afterwards.
Yeah.
But as it stands, you know, there's 7 Divine Shields on the table that are no longer getting absorbed by Blood Knight.
Well, look at that.
That's annoying.
Another Giggling Inventor. If I showed you this board, what, 3 years ago when Annoyatron came out?
It looks like a weird lethal puzzle. Like, this is one of the things for the new
I want
Boomsday
to put
Adventure.
this on Reddit just to troll people and say, find lethal. See how long it takes people to realize that there is none. You make these attacks, and then you push. Oh. 0 damage.
Yeah, I think it literally doesn't matter what order the attacks go in. You push them around to make sure that, well, I mean, the one attack bans, yeah, it matters, but everything else just gets pushed around. You deal 0 damage. You still have no board space.
Yeah.
Hunterace gets another turn.
And this other turn.
Look at Sinto. He's like, where did I go wrong? What happened?
I didn't do
He filled up his board.
I didn't do anything that turn but kill his Annoyatrons. And the Giggling Inventors are still up, so if Hunterace draws a bounce, he can just have more. At least next turn, Sintolol can trade a minion in.
Mind you, with the way the board state was, it was impossible for a card in Sintolol's deck, I think, to kill it. Period.
Oh, and by the way, double Fan of Knives actually just clears the board.
That's the turning point. That Vanish that he drew.
And a Sonya to get the extra 1 mana.
It's over.
Giggling Inventor.
He's not.
Which completes the quest.
Hunterace is not dead yet. But I'm sorry, Sintolol's not dead yet, but Hunterace is won. He is,
he's dead.
Turned the corner 100%. Sintolol is
man.
not coming back from this situation.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Next turn, he could double quest to make his minions 4/4s again.
Sick. Sinto's just, yeah. He should not have filled up his board, and that was something he was not accounting for. He wasn't thinking about, well, what just happens if he plays 2 Giggling Inventors, and my board's full, and I can't do anything.
Maybe even going back to the turn before that, when he played his own